You just saw it 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
It's all right, I'll get you through it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Vor einigen Tagen war ich noch bei meiner Familie, in meinem Haus. Soll das alles verloren sein?
Wenn du überleben willst, tu und sag so wenig wie möglich.
Ich will nicht überleben. Ich will leben.
So as I said, I literally just saw it, and I'm quite in a mood specifically. So after you saw it, how did you feel?
I couldn't speak. I went through, I saw it in Soho, and it was a Friday night, and I stepped out of the theatre, and I was with my niece Emily, and we were walking through the streets. We couldn't speak to each other, and everywhere I looked, there seemed to be complicity. Everything had some kind of flavour of being the product of the suffering we just watched. Every bit of mortar seemed to bleed with the history that brought about the wealth to create those structures in London, because it's still an old city in that particular region, and you know, especially you can see the Georgian and Victorian architecture, and you think, where did that money come from? Even the church, the wealthy patronage of church came from wealthy businessmen. Where did the wealth come from? Even looking at my phone, trying to compose a message of congratulations and just shock and awe really to Chiwetel and Steve, I looked at the phone. I thought there are minerals in this phone that are used to build the chips that function our modern communication systems that are mined by children, by slave labour, and slavery is still a modern problem. So everywhere I looked, it kept resonating everywhere.
Actually, was it physically demanding to shoot it because, well, like on the plantations and all that?
Well, the heat was excruciating. I mean, the first day of shooting, it was I think 46, and the humidity was very high. So that and long hours. But then again, it makes you think of the people who were actually, you know, then picking cotton or, you know, being slaves at that time. It was horrendous. No air conditioning. You know, no change of clothes, no showers. So it was extraordinarily suppressing in a way.
And while it is an unflinching and uncompromising gaze at that particular era of slavery, you know, it's something that I think can comment on all of us and what is still happening, whether it's, you know, whether it's trafficking, whether it's bond slavery, any form of modern slavery, and there are huge numbers.
I must say, what it felt like was kind of, so after Shame, which is, of course, your other movie, got snobbed by the Academy, which is still kind of outrageous because I think it was really great. This is like the movie it's just really, the Academy can't ignore this movie because it's really just very good on every possible level. So is that something that you thought about, or was it just out of your mind? Just you were just doing it and not thinking about anything that's award related?
I don't think about that. I mean, you know, the fact that I'm talking to you about this particular subject matter is astonishing for me, because the last thing I was thinking about is that, because you know, you've got to make your most important thing is just to make the best film you can possibly make. And, you know, I never knew it was commercial or popular. I never thought it would be. So, I mean, that was even more of a surprise.
And it took me a long time to try and be able to get any kind of distance from it. And I haven't seen it since, and I really need to. I need to see it with a larger audience, because it's an extraordinarily powerful piece of filmmaking. I think universal because of the fact he's a free man. It's not just about colour or creed. It's not just about a specific era of shameful recent history in America's past and, well, the world's past. Everyone was complicit in it. It's not just America. You kind of feel shocked, don't you? It's not an easy film to sort of just come out and be glib about. You have to just take a little bit of time.
Absolutely true. Because your character is the first person in the movie that is kind of a bit hopeful, where you just wish, like, you have to help him now, and he doesn't really, but at least he's kind of nice. So that's,
yeah. Well, I think he's a very complex character because, you know, he's morally bankrupt. He's an utter hypocrite. He's a Christian man preaching the gospel, and at the centre of many tenements of the gospel is the idea that, you know, God created all men as equals, and he's basically trading in human beings to solve his debt. And that, to me, compromises him beyond any forgivable stance as a Christian. And yet, yes, he seems to be more pleasant. He seems to be more generous than the company that Solomon falls into, to put it mildly. So I often question whether it's just my 21st sensibilities kind of projecting a more you know, harsh judgment on the man, but I can't square the whole of somebody who pretends to be a Christian, preaches in a rose garden whilst a woman that he's separated from her child is weeping, and call that the actions of a good man, a truly good man. I think he's incredibly flawed. So while he may not be ready with the whip, while he may be willing to gift, while he may be willing to look after, to an extent, the welfare of his men and women that work for him, he's still a man who exists and survives through slavery. Can't be right.